Tyrese Halliburton, and you're listening to Setting the Pace.
Pacer Nation, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of Setting the Pace, your go-to Pacers podcast. There might not be Alex Golden today, but we are joined by recurring guest Kyle Taylor, who co-hosts the Pacers Recap live show with Derek Kramer. Kyle, how you doing?
It's great to talk to you, Facci. Yep, thanks for the intro. We're doing another live show tomorrow night after the Cavs game. Hopefully the Pacers can get their first win of the NBA Cup. Excited for that.
I hope so. I remember times when it came to the Cup, we were talking about winning it all. You know, the Pacers made it all the way, and I know sometimes the season kind of went in the opposite direction after that loss to the Lakers a few seasons ago, but that was a blast. It was a great run. We haven't been able to capture the magic since. And when we're talking about capturing really anything, I mean, wins have been hard to come by, period, but we are fresh off of one. Took down the Charlotte Hornets. They even let that one almost slip by, but it was good to see the Pacers hold on offensively. They look good. They had 104 points through three quarters when they had been averaging about 109, overall. Kyle, how you feeling after a win? Because I know it had been a little bit.
I mean, I don't have the pep in the step that you have, Facci, but I did get group texts this morning being like, man, wasn't that nice to see? And it was so nice to see. Haven't been a lot of group texts in the Pacers group chats for me, but we got a win. We got some positivity. Lots of people, multiple people I knew were having something good to say, and there has not been much good to say about this team, unfortunately. But maybe one is the start of a trend.
Hey, it starts with one. And you know what? Everybody, it might not make national news when you take down the Charlotte Hornets, but at the same point, it's a step in the right direction. I think that this team needed, a little bit of change, a little bit of a, fresh face, people coming in, people going out at times. And that's kind of exactly what happened earlier today. The Pacers made a move, or you could even say multiple moves, actually. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl stepping up, made the most of his two Exhibit 10, contracts. He now has a standard contract. Therefore, Monte Morris, he is waived. He is no longer with the Pacers. It's been a couple of stints, if you can call it that, started out, didn't get all, was hurt, let go, eventually makes his way back. But anyway, the Pacers bring in Garrison Matthews on an Exhibit 10 contract. Where do you want to start with? Is it Jeremiah Robinson-Earl or is it Garrison Matthews?
Well, let's do a quick hat tip to Monte Morris. So long, I barely knew you. 65 minutes played for the entire season. I can't even say he distanced himself significantly from Ray J. Dennis.
Nope.
Like a lot of the two-way guys and, fringe players on the team, he didn't quite make it. I mean, Cody Martin, right, DeLon, right, there are a number of these guys, Mac McClung, we've tried and it hasn't quite worked. So hat tip to Monte Morris. Better luck somewhere else. I was hoping it would work out here and it just didn't. Let's go Garrison Matthews because Facci, I was watching Garrison Matthews highlights today.
Ooh, I like that.
So last 3 seasons he played with the Hawks. They were worse with him on the floor than when he was off the floor. Okay, fringe guy, whatever. But here's what I've got, Facci.
What do you got?
I'm watching him hit catch and shoot threes. I'm watching him hit movement threes. Something like 85% of all the shots he's going to take are going to be threes. And he shot, this is the last 3 years combined. He shot 37% on semi-contested or contested threes. So not wide open, but 37%. Now 37% might not sound like any great shakes. Indiana is shooting 27% this year.
Hideous. Absolutely.
Okay, so listen, 37% sounds amazing to me. The guy's got a quick trigger. He's going to shoot even when he's guarded. And you know what? He's going to make a decent amount of them. Look, I just said Mac McClung, DeLon Wright, Cody Martin, Monte Morris. We went through the list. I don't know if this is going to work out for Garrison Matthews, but I can see the vision.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. And that's something that 3-point shooting is something Indiana has struggled with mightily. The Charlotte game felt like the outlier where they really got it going from three. But all throughout the game, you just heard Chris Denari talking about this is the most threes Indiana's made a quarter, or this might be the first time they shoot 40% from the field, from three in a game. There were so many of this might be the first, or this is the most, that far into the season. And Indiana in previous years was able to stroke the three. You had good 3-point shooters in Aaron Nesmith and Obi Toppin and Miles Turner and Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. Those were all guys that at times were 40% or better 3-point shooters. This year, it's been downright ugly. Now, like we said, we don't know how long this Exhibit 10 contract is going to stretch. We saw Jeremiah Robinson-Earl stretch it out as long as it could possibly go until they said, you know what, we got to do something about this, and they kept him. But for Garrison Matthews, I mean, let's just talk about 2023, 2024 season. I mean, we can even go last year. Let's go last year. 47 games, he shot 39% from three. The previous year, and that's on 4.6 attempts. So that's
not many minutes. I mean, when he's getting in the game, they're going up.
They are going up. So on 4.6 attempts, he shoots 39%. You gotta love that. The previous season, he shoots 3 attempts per game, 44% from the field. Like, this is a guy that is a sniper. That is the word that I would use to describe him. No, he's not going to be, expected to play large minutes, but like, if he gets it going and the Indiana can, unfortunately, knock on wood, continues the trends of having any sort of injuries, you never know. You just never know. I like this type of pickup because I do feel that he is an NBA quality player, but obviously, hey, it's going to be a long shot for him.
With the way the defense has been this year, aka bad,
yes,
I feel like they've got to try and make the offense better, even if it's not helping the defense all that much, because we knew that the offense would be bad. It's been terrible. But for the defense to be this bad, I mean, it's not even like you need defensive signings. I mean, we're going to get to JRE in a moment, but it's really not even like, if you're going to take a risk on a player at the sort of fringes of your rotation, you may as well take a risk on a guy who can go like 3 for 4 1/4.
Yep, absolutely. And I feel like, this is maybe a little bit what they hoped, like, in the past when they traded for Doug McDermott at the deadline and they brought him back, and it just didn't work out. Like, he is the McDermott-ish, where it's like he's going to shoot it, it's going to be a 3. That's just what it's going to be. Like, a large majority, like last year, he attempted 5.5 shots per night, 4.6 of them from 3. The
guy does not even put the ball on the floor.
No.
There's no dribbling.
That's what it is. That is what it is. That is what it's going to be. And I just feel like there will be a couple of moments where we'll say, wow, this guy's pretty hot right now. And then at the same point, these 10-day contracts, they are meant for 10 days. So is it 1? Is it 2? We really don't know. But at some point, you would imagine the Pacers aren't going to keep playing musical chairs and keep shifting one guy out from a standard contract to then, moving out. It's happened quite a bit. Tony Bradley just surviving left and right. Like, that contract felt like it wouldn't last, but he's still here. It doesn't look like he's going anywhere. So it's been a little bit of a revolving door, and Garrison Matthews is the latest Pacer. Who knows if he'll be the last? Probably not. But for now, he's here. Welcome to the team.
Well, the music stopped for Cody Martin. It stopped for Monte Morris, but the music is still going for Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. In that game of musical chairs, I mean, the guy, I swear, all these guys coming out of Villanova, every single one of them just plays the game. I mean, it's such cliche. They play the game the right way, and they play, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, he's playing the game in every way he can. He's trying to find an advantage everywhere he can.
No, and it's true. I mean,
obviously he's got a nose for the ball. I wish when he shot it, the ball had a nose for the net.
Yes,
but yeah, I'm really impressed with what I've seen from Jeremiah Robinson-Earl in all facets of the game except shooting. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to last for him either, but I'm happy for him, and he's done what he could have hoped to do with the contracts he got.
Yeah, I really am. I feel like this is someone that was like hanging on for his NBA life, and he's made the most of his minutes. There were some monster rebound games along the way. I mean, he had a 15 rebound game against the Nets in his third game on a 10-day contract. Talk about doing whatever you can to be able to stand out. He had a 12 rebound game against Golden State. He had a 9 rebound game against Detroit. Like, he's done what he can. Obviously, he has some limitations. Should he be playing 30 minutes a night on a 10-day contract? No, but there was times that was just the rough, unfortunate situation that Indiana was in. So, I don't know. I've slowly just developed a soft spot for him. I'm happy for him right now. I felt like with Mac McClung, it didn't feel like that was going to last in any way. It felt like when he got that standard contract, it was like, oh, all right, well, this is interesting, but it is non-guaranteed, so I don't know about the multi-year portion of it when they were reporting that. But for Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, look, will he finish the season as a Pacer? I don't know that. But for right now, it looks like he's going to stick around a bit longer.
I have a soft spot for these guys who just play hard and fill in the gaps in all the right places. I hang on too long to, Ben Shepherd, even when he's not making shots. Aaron Nesmith is, outside of Tyrese Halliburton, my favorite player on the team.
I respect
because
it.
these guys just absolutely go for it when they're on the court. I mean, TJ McConnell, obviously the same kind of thing. Now, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl isn't at that level of player. He's not a threat offensively in any of the ways that any of those different guys are. If there's anything there, and I'm going to be honest, Facci, I don't even know what it would be. We haven't even really gotten like a hint, a sniff, a taste that there's some offensive game lurking in his package that
I don't know if we will.
Yeah, I don't know if we will either, but for his sake, I hope so. And this is how you find out.
Yeah, no, this is definitely how you find out. And I think that it's been interesting. They're doing what they can. Think about trying to find out. I think a good little transition is Jay Huff looked like the guy that we watched the mixtapes on, the highlights. Like, that's the guy that I was like, whoa, at the peak of what he could be is what we saw against Charlotte. And I thought it was awesome. I found myself trying to not wake up my kids. I mean, he's slamming dunks. He's hitting threes. He's blocking shots. It was just like, whoa, this is exciting. Now, does it raise your expectations? Unfortunately, maybe it could at times, but now you at least have seen it with your own eyes, and on some nights, maybe it's once every few weeks, something like that, he's capable of a breakout type of performance. Do you think this could be anything for his confidence that maybe he could keep going in the right direction?
I hope so. I mean, look, first of all, he got to play at the bottom of the zone a lot against Charlotte, and that zone looked great. I mean, they were doing some like 2-3 into 3-2 with Nembhard pulling up to the top of the zone at times. That was kind of interesting. And Jay Huff sort of patrolling the baseline, I thought really looked comfortable there. So he's looking comfortable on the defensive end, and he's got the confidence to just keep letting it fly on the offensive end. If I'm being honest, Facci, what I really loved from that game was his emotion. Because this is a team, right, with one win. Yes. They're playing at home, and listen, I'm not at the arena, but I can tell there are empty seats, right? I can tell this isn't the same atmosphere that we left the season at last year, and they know it and they feel it too. But you're having a game, you're having a moment, and he is just yelling, and I loved it because you can't go through the season. I know that there are people who want to talk about tanking. You cannot go through this season and have it be so bad on the court that there's a soul tax. That people are playing and the life, like a Dementor from Harry Potter, the life is just being sucked out of them every time they step on the court. You can't go through a season like that and have no repercussions. This kind of attitude, this kind of fight, and that kind of obviously Ben Mathurin's been bringing it too.
Yes.
That kind of ferocity and emotion is what the team needs. You've got to find a way to get out of this. He looked comfortable on both ends. And we got to Huff stuff. I mean, it was so fun to see. Obviously, these guys, they're all kind of competing to be like the future backup center, probably. That's okay. A future backup center who can kind of maybe have a night once every 2 weeks. That would be a big improvement over the last couple of years because we were playing Moses Brown about a year ago this time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we really were. I mean, people forget that Jahlil Okafor was brought in last year. Like, that happened.
Yes.
It didn't happen for long, but it happened. And before it happened, people were pushing for it. They were like, give Okafor a chance. Like, he's dominating the G League, and there was nothing there. And I don't think we're going to see anything more of him in the NBA. I think that was the last glimmer of hope. Not trying to kick a man while he's down or anything of the sort, but it's just like, look, this was, like we said earlier, musical chairs, next man up type of thing. And I feel like I now saw something in Jay Huff that I hope to have seen earlier in the year. And I hope I saw that symbolic, that metaphorical green light yesterday against Charlotte, where it's he was letting it fly. He felt that he was in his zone. I believe it was 4 of 9 from 3. He was letting it fly. It was going in. It was great. Awesome to see. But you also brought up Ben Mathurin. I was telling Alex, it feels like when Mathurin wasn't out there while he was out with the injury, Pacers weren't fun. They really didn't look fun. It was hard. What were we rooting for? Was it to see if there's anything there with Cody Martin? Is it, hey, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, let's check this out? Or was it there's a little bit of Mac McClung? It was just so these aren't NBA standard level contract guys, and they're playing 30 minutes. You get Mathurin out there. This is a guy now who hasn't scored lower than 24 points in any of his games. He can light it up at any point. He was rebounding really well against Charlotte. His first 2 games of the season were unbelievable. Like, to me, like, this is what you could at least get invested in to say, like, why couldn't he be the future of this team, or why can't he be an all-star or anything like that? Like, how good does it feel to at least have Mathurin back, win or lose?
I mean, it feels so good. I got a stat for you, Facci. All right.
Hit me.
I got a stat for you. All right. There are a bunch of guys who nobody thought would play this year. They weren't on the roster. They're on the fringe of the rotation. Monte Morris, Cody Martin, Talon Peter. Okay. I'm not going to list them all, but think of them.
Yeah.
The Pacers have played most of their minutes for the season with at least one fringe guy on the floor. The lineups with one fringe guy, even one fringe guy on the floor, one or more. Facci, they have a negative 20 net rating. Okay. Now, for people who may not know net rating, normal is like negative 5 to 5. Really good, like the Thunder last year is plus 10. Really bad, like the 10-win 76ers is minus 10. So when I say minus 20, I'm talking about twice as bad as the worst team of the last decade.
I mean, that's as bad as it could possibly get. Like, think about that. It can't get get worse. As bad as the worst team of the last 10 years. It just can't.
It can't. But
Facci,
I
don't want to be wrong on that.
But Facci, when none of those guys are on the court, none of them, the Pacers have a net rating of negative 1. Which is basically a 500 team like we all thought they'd be this year. Okay? Maybe a little bit worse.
Gives you something to believe in, to just be like, hey, stop pulling necessarily what would be equivalent to someone out of the stands and putting them on the court, and more have it be what you expected out of this roster. It's just, obviously, yes, when you're without a Nesmith, an Obi, a Halliburton, whoever we're talking
Everybody's
about.
Been out.
Everybody's been out. It's like you're looking at guys off the couch. And that's what's happened, and really none of them have been able to produce. So I think that is a really good stat to just say, hey, when you have essentially 5 more of the core guys of this year, they are a 500 team, and that's really what we hoped for coming into this season. We felt like if Indiana could go 41-41, that was going to be like, oh, wow, hey, we'll take it. Like, that's probably good enough for, I would say a top 8 spot, maybe competing for potentially the 6th seed, like in the running, a couple games out, anything of that sort. Nobody expected a minus 20 net rating or anything like that. It's just downright awful.
It's downright awful. And Ben Mathurin being back is both about making the good stuff more fun to watch, but also it means that there are fewer of those fringe guys in the rotation. I'm not trying to dump on the fringe guys. These are guys who are coming into the league and getting no practice time, no reps, day one. I mean, I think Jeremiah Robinson-Earl might have even started in his first game against Utah.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
you're asking so much of these guys who are already fighting for their careers to then go out and be a positive on the court for a team with a distinct style that other people find hard to play with and learn. Even Pascal Siakam was better in year 2 than year 1, right? Mm-hmm. And these are guys who are nowhere near that level. So I'm not trying to dump on them, but Ben Mathurin being back is just so fun. Look, I don't know about all-star level, Facci. I think like if you go through all-stars, basically all these guys who are at that level, you can't just be one note. And for too much of Ben Mathurin's career, he's been one note and an elite scorer, right? A few weeks ago, I think maybe it was last week, Steve Kerr brought up how when he was on the Bulls, Phil Jackson did this analogy where the NBA team is like a band. You're like members of a band and you've got a lead singer and you've got drums and guitar and you're like trying to figure out who's who. And Ben Mathurin has, I think, wanted to be the lead singer when he's like, a guitar player. And when he's playing the guitar, he wants to solo when he needs to just like fill in the background.
Yep.
But watching him the last few games, I mean, he wants it. And again, This is when you are 1-13, you have to find a fight somewhere in you that no one else can see because fans are already giving up on the season. And you're watching Rick Carlisle. He's not going to say he's giving up on the season, but you're watching him take intentional timeouts intentional technical fouls so that he can sub guys off the floor in a blowout, right? they know everybody's knowing what's going on for those, for that skid there. And then you have Ben come back and look dreadful the first half against Detroit. But I think it was Jeremiah Johnson who said, going into the fourth quarter in that game, Ben Mathurin was the loudest one in the huddle, and he comes out and lights it up to start the fourth quarter. I hope he can keep doing that as he receives more defensive attention. I don't think either of the two most recent opponents really threw the kitchen sink at him. Charlotte and sort of the undermanned Detroit might not be the best teams to do that, but I hope he can keep it up when he faces more pressure. It's been fun to watch regardless, though. This is what people wanted to see. And we're looking at a guy who even if I'm not at the, could he be an all-star level, we're looking at he's probably averaging 22, 24 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the season of the direction that we're going in and how much of the green light he has, he's going to have some crazy games. I think we are going to see, I'm going to say multiple 40-point Ben Mathurin games this year. And I feel like it's definitely in the cards because I believe he scored 38 last year. So it's think about now it's less mouths to feed. He can definitely, have that opportunity. And there's going to be times that he's just scorching hot. Like you talked about it. He was 0 for 3 from the field against Detroit in the first half. Second half, he ends up putting up, it was 22 or 24 points in the second half. So it's he's going to have nights where he just has it going on. The first 2 games of the season in specific, he had it going on. So great to have him back. But also this man is playing for a payday. He knows that this is not just the payday for Indiana. This could also be an audition for any team in the league that's going to have cap space, because you can make an argument that Indiana could have saved some substantial money if they had been able to get a deal done, maybe in that 105-year, $125 million range where price is probably only going to go up. I brought this up with Alex, but Jalen Duren is another one of those players where they did not strike a deal. He's balling out, and the price is going up. So that's going to be a storyline to follow all season. But Kyle, one of the things I want to talk about is I just thought you had some cool trends and things that were interesting that you had been posting on Twitter. I thought one of them was, how the league is just playing at a way faster pace, and we're seeing the injuries to be able to back it up. Calf injuries are the new common cold. It feels like it's happening all the time, and most teams that you mentioned are playing at a faster pace. The Pacers playing at a faster pace without without some key players that typically had been the offense. I mean, how is this even happening? The league is good. How fast can it get?
I have no idea. When Aaron Nesmith went on Zach Lowe's podcast before the season started and said to Zach, you will be surprised how fast we're going to play this year. I'm going to be honest. In my mind, I was like, no, right. I'm sorry. I don't buy that. Yeah, exactly. I don't buy that. But I looked at the last 5 years. The NBA keeps track of this, literally just miles per hour on the court. Okay. The first 4 weeks of the season, usually at the beginning of the year, people are fresher. It's a little bit, everybody's going a bit faster. So I just looked at the 4 weeks of the first 4 weeks of every season for the last 5 years. 26 of the league's 30 teams are playing at their fastest ever speed. They're just moving faster. And the Pacers somehow are one of those teams. Now here's my thing for you, Facci. The Pacers have played, even within this 15 games, the Pacers' very, very fastest games on NBA stats, for what it's worth, were Memphis, Atlanta, and Toronto. Okay, those weren't great games. Those didn't feel very good. How about their slowest? The slowest game, that was Charlotte last night. Wow. That was the slowest game they've played so far this year. So, okay, I'm thinking to myself, we've already seen them have how many injuries? We've seen how many other guys, Wemby, Giannis, right? Big names who are going down with these soft tissue injuries. And I'm looking at their record, and it's early on in the season, and I'm kind of like, what if we slowed down a little? Yeah. What if we took our foot off the gas? Ben Mathurin, he likes to probe and prod. He likes to, sometimes he's going to catch and hold a little bit. Drew can do kind of either. Pascal can kind of do either. Obviously, TJ plays at one speed, which is all out all the time. But I look at the roster as a whole, and I'm like, maybe we just throttle it back a little bit. Maybe there's maybe this trend toward faster and faster isn't actually toward better and better. Because if you're not moving with purpose and you're just going fast, I mean, we all know the ball's not going in the net when this team shoots it.
Not
this. You're just going fast without a purpose. I don't really know what you're doing. And I mean, look, this is just to my eye. I'm not, some sophisticated analyst, but when I watch them, I can see that they're moving fast. but are they really like creating the advantages that they want to? I don't see it.
It has not been pretty. I just feel like it felt like for a while that Carlisle could plug in just about anybody and they could play this style of play. But now you're looking at like, okay, maybe not anybody, because there's been a lot of guys that have come and go. And sure, we could say that this guy shouldn't be the point guard of the Pacers, or you shouldn't have Jeremiah Robinson-Earl and Tony Bradley starting in the same game. Like there has been instances like that where then even like Ben Shepherd's another starter, and it's like, okay, these are three guys that probably aren't, starters, should be, but it's just been a little bit tough. And I wonder, like, yeah, how fast can the league continue to get before you start to hit a point where it's like, all right, this isn't good basketball?
I mean, obviously the Pacers haven't been playing good basketball. I mean, some of the relationship between playing fast and wins is not necessarily so close, right? Denver has played at a very consistent pace. It's pretty slow relative to the rest of the league. They play very differently. It's pretty obvious why. Even Golden State, you might think of them playing very fast. They play at a pretty consistent pace. They haven't sort of changed up and down in recent years. The teams going crazy with pace are like Miami, kind of working for them. Washington, not really working for them. Brooklyn, not really working for them. I know it's the trend and it's a copycat league, and the Pacers did this crazy thing and they had sort of like the run of a lifetime and everybody wants to copy it. But you have to have either the Pacers are the team. I mean, if you're going to take lessons from the Pacers, it's that style works because you have an organizer who reads the game at hyperspeed. Tyrese can see what's happening at 100 miles an hour, and not everyone can.
It's true. I mean, it's like he's got the vision for that, and you could just see, like, as much as we love, Andrew Nembhard, fan favorite of a lot of people, you could just see, like, it's not quite the same vision. I mean, the other night, 7 assists, 6 turnovers. I mean, in the last 2 games I mentioned, it was 11 assists, 11 turnovers. What do you got?
All right, Facci. I know that it looks bad. I've got a moment of positivity. Okay. Because I look at the same thing and I'm watching the games and I'm like, there he is with that loose handle again, right? There he goes. There's another lazy pass. And I'm like, I'm rolling my eyes. And I look at that assist to turnover ratio and it looks bad. Okay. But assist to turnover ratio means your teammates are making the shots.
They got to hit the shot.
Know
I definitely agree.
His teammates are not making the shots. So there's another stat you can use, which is potential assists, which is basically what if the teammates made all the shots? Okay. So you make a pass and they shoot it and we don't care if it goes in or not. If you look at his potential assist to turnover ratio, it's actually better this year than it was last year.
Really? Well, that's good.
That might seem kind of surprising. I don't know. There was a moment at the end. I think it's the end of the first quarter against Detroit. We've got consecutive possessions where he makes great reads, has a great handle, snaking pick and roll, corner kick out to Shep, wide open 3, brick. Next possession, pick and roll with Tony Bradley, snakes it again really well, baits them into the double team, passes to Tony Bradley in the post, misses it. So my, small moment of small positivity. Obviously, the turnovers are still too high. I'm not defending 6 turnovers a game, but on the assist to turnover ratio, his teammates just aren't making shots.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not.
And with the increased responsibility he has, it's not so bad. Like it's not out of proportion. He's kind of doing what you would hope that he would do, but none of his teammates can hit anything.
You had shared a stat recently that basically talked about, I mean, just how the Pacers were essentially like, what was like the worst shooting team in the last decade or so. I mean, I know it's from like about a week or so ago. So, maybe things have maybe improved a little bit, or maybe they got worse. I don't really know. It depends on, I can't say one game could shake the stats too much, but yeah, this team's not hitting shots. And I saw something that basically said like 3 of the top 5 players in true shooting percentage drop off is like, it was like,
our guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Aaron Nesmith. I think it was like Ben Shepherd, and it might have been like someone else or something like that. Jarris Walker. Jarris Walker, I think, was like number 1.
Yep.
So it was really rough to see that. And some of that could be the Halliburton effect of like you're not getting the same looks that you were previously. And that's tough because we talk about Aaron Nesmith. That was a guy that if he qualified was 50, 40, 90 last year. And you're talking about, like the percentages are down that much. Like that hurts to see. But one question is, do you think this team's past the point of potentially even being buyers at any point? Has that ship sailed? Has it sunk? I mean, are they at the point where it just says, you know what, we're really looking forward to the future instead of the next few months or anything of that sort?
Oh man, didn't Kevin Pritchard say in his why we dumped Miles press conference that he's itching to make trades all the time?
Itching. I would imagine he's put some cream on that. He doesn't have the same itch anymore. I don't know. I don't blame him. I just think that right now we're at a point where it would kind of surprise me if Indiana made a splash at any point to try and salvage this season. I don't know if a team's ever come back from this type of situation in the season. It just feels too deep.
It feels too deep. I think no splashes, but a ripple. I could see a ripple. A small effect in the pond. I think we're waiting until the question is about Mathurin this summer.
I think so.
Whether it's like sign and trade or sign. Letting him walk for nothing would be
that's impossible at this
beyond
point.
Malpractice. I would have very harsh words for the front office if that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine anything else happening before then because the only splash you can make is either trading Pascal. No, probably. I mean, unless it's if Giannis demands a trade. Okay, it's on the table, right?
Some ridiculous thing, but it just feels like that would, for anything less than landing an actual superstar. I'm not talking about an Anthony Davis, who at this point is, I'm talking about actual superstar. Like you said, Giannis. There's like a small little list of that. If not, don't even pick up the phone. Just don't.
Right. And the alternative splash is like Obi Toppin and Andrew Nembhard, and then we're selling. That's not even buying because the team would have no point guards. So no, I don't see it happening. I think the dream outcome for the season, for me at least, remains that we see. I mean, look, I want to win the lottery, whatever. I don't think this team is going to make the top 15 or the top 16 and sort of clear the lottery. I think we're probably looking at the lottery, whether it's play in or out completely. I want to win the lottery no matter what the odds are. But the best scenario, win the lottery or not, is one where pick 2 of them, 3 of them, Ben, Jairus, Drew, where some of these guys, Aaron, when he comes back, where 2 or more of these guys show us something.
Yeah.
And look, Nesmith was trying the drives. They weren't working. Mm-hmm. Drew is trying to manage the offense with more responsibility. It's in fits and starts, right? Sometimes better, sometimes worse. Ben Mathurin, every now and then, is taking on more defensive assignments. To me, I'm honestly not so impressed with his defense, but the scoring is at another level for sure.
Yeah.
Something in there's got to hit. And if 1 or more, or like 2 or more really, of those things hit, then, lottery odds be what they may, I will be happy with where the season ends.
I just truly think where we're at now, I don't think you can come back from this. A top 3 pick could change everything for Indiana moving forward. You get a healthy Tyrese Halliburton back. You didn't spend any money in the past over here. So it's like at that point, hey, you have an opportunity to invest in Mathurin or figure that out or whatever it is. If for some reason it didn't work out, the assets that you can get back, hopefully it could be huge. They have options again. And I think that's important when you never expected the odds of potentially bringing in a top 3 pick. If not, imagine the idea of even a number 1. But Kyle, as we wrap up, before we get kicked off this Zoom, just please hit us with one little positive thing and just tell everybody out where they can find you on social media.
I gave my Drew positivity. We went through most of my positivity stats. I will just
we're out of positivity. I would just say I think we did it all. I think we did.
I mean, positivity is the pep in the step is back for Facci.
It is definitely on the pep.
And we all can watch the game tomorrow and feel like, or hope we go into it feeling positive about something. Hopefully they'll give us more things to cheer about. You can find me on wherever you get, your socials, one Kyle Taylor. Tomorrow night after the game's over, Derek Kramer and I will do a pod. Hopefully we're talking about another win. And if we're not talking about a win, hopefully we're talking about something good that happened on the court.
Kyle, appreciate you. Until next time. And hey, let's go Pacers.
Go Pacers.